Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the It Doesn't Matter podcast. And we've got myself, Strapfax John. And for the last time ever introduced in this manner, we've got...
We got the Dominican Dream, baby. This is Papi Platano.
There he is. And featured returning guest, we've got...
D to the C.
There he is. And we've got the host of the show. We've got...
I am the notorious one. I am Dom. Boom.
That's right. And we're here to discuss a very special person, a legend in the professional wrestling business, an icon, a world heavyweight champion, a WWE Hall of Famer, a superstar, a gladiator like no other. His name is Bill Goldberg. So, Dom, what have we got going on with Goldberg?
Bill Goldberg. I remember the first time I seen this guy, he was going against Hugh Morris. And you would think, okay, this dude is an enhancement talent. He just had that look like I'm going to mess you up, but we know what happened. He turned Hugh out, and it was a laughing matter for Hugh Morris. Goldberg got the dub. What was your first impression on the man, Bill Goldberg? Anybody?
Well, my first impression of him was, this dude is jacked. This dude is huge. After the way he handled Hugh Morris, I was like, all right, they're going to push this guy because you don't have somebody take out Hugh Morris in the way he did and not push that guy. Because, I mean, Hugh Morris was mid-level, yeah, but, I mean, he was a guy that was getting his fair shares of dubs in WCW at the time. So to have a guy just come in and completely destroy him like he did, you knew something was being lined up for him, and then the next series of squash matches just pretty much confirmed it for you.
Oh man,
He
yeah.
said, oh my bad. I was gonna say that he said he was basically the Mike Tyson of WCW, but we didn't think that at the time. Oh, you got the black trunks, you got the bald head, got the goatee. You trying to be like the other guy on the other channel, Stone Cold Steve Austin, but
Right.
I can see where they're coming from.
I honestly wasn't
nowadays.
even thinking like that though, to be honest.
Well, I guess it was in regards to the fact that dude didn't get paid by the hour. That was for sure.
No.
He wasn't out there. He wasn't out there to have the, as Biggie said, the 5-star matches. He was literally just out there to bruise and get the quick dub, and that was it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just like seeing how he handled Hugh Morris. I mean, Hugh Morris, like you said, was barely mid at that time, and just seeing him get handled by someone we don't know, it's like, what you got going on over here? And like you said, this dude was just different from what you've seen from some of these guys in WCW. Normally you get like a decent match, get a little storyline, trying to figure out who he is. He just came in. This is Bill Goldberg, one of the guys that was in the power plant.
Right.
He just got him up. Like, stuff like that. It's like, all right, so they had a plan for him, or they had something going on, and it went away. It went to the point where we at right now. To, like you said, Dom, he's the Hall of Famer. Had that streak going, and who's next?
If you want to hear our full thoughts on Goldberg's match with Hugh Morris, check out our show, our head-to-head show, September 22nd, 1997. Goldberg made his debut, and on the other channel, Platinum, you remember what happened on the other channel?
I forget.
Stone Cold stunned Vince for the first time.
Was that was that at the same time?
Same time.
So as he's debuting, Vince is getting stunned.
Well, I don't know about the same time exactly, but
That's what I'm trying to say.
same night.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Well, I believe you were covering Nitro that night, probably then, weren't you, Abel?
Yeah.
And I was covering Monday Night Raw. You know why Goldberg only had 1-star matches? Because he's Jewish. The Star of David. It's 1 star. You know, I remember that debut match. I remember that debut match against Hugh Morris. Do you think that's funny? Hugh Morris? What? I don't think it's funny at all. But yes, Hugh Morris, someone like the Dolph Ziggler of WCW at the time, perennial talent guy, enhancement guy. Okay, I know.
Wow.
That's
But that's
Hey,
less that's less of a
Got 2
promotion.
heavyweight championships under his belt. Come on, man.
That's less. It's less of a promotion for Hugh Morris and more of a degradation of Dolph Ziggler, if you ask me. And that's exactly where I'm gonna put him. Down in the dungeon of doom, that is. So anyway, yes, Goldberg, this guy just coming out of nowhere, getting an epic win over a guy that they were kind of pushing. I mean, there's lots of guys they were kind of pushing at the time. Guys like the Disco Inferno, guys like Glacier here or there, guys like anyone but Chris Jericho. Let's just put it that way. But it was a memorable debut, even before we knew what Goldberg would come to be.
Right.
But they definitely had something in the plans for Goldberg. And, hey, he didn't mess it up, and it was a good first match for him.
Right.
Yes. Very impressive for someone who was, basically, like he said, I think he was straight out of the power plant maybe a couple months in. He didn't know all the basics that most wrestlers were probably, taught, but he knew all the explosive moves that he needed to make an impression, and that's why we're speaking of him even to this day.
Goldberg's the man. So let's talk about the streak in general. We know my man went 173-0, but who's actually keeping track with this?
Mike Tenay. Well, originally the streak, it was very easy to keep up to date with these things. And no, we did not have the internet, and we didn't have immediacy to all the results of the house shows, live events. But you could do the best you could following WCW Saturday Night, the Pro, whatever shows they had at the time, and you could follow along. You could find the results if you wanted to. I'm sure where Goldberg would win on a house show, but somewhere. In the summer of '98, probably, they just went in and over their heads and started making up numbers. And that's when we start lying to the fans. That's when you lose your audience.
So check this out. So I'm on Wikipedia right now, and they have his streak. But they got some WCW Nitro dark matches even before he made his debut.
So dark matches are included in the streak?
I guess so. for WCW. He fought, his first match was June 23rd, 1997. It was against Buddy Lee Parker. The Sarge. That's a dub. Then the next night, another dark match. WCW Saturday Night dark match. Buddy Landell.
Okay.
Hugh Morris in July. Chip
So that was his
Minton.
third match?
That was his third match. 3-0. Chip Minton. Dark match.
Who?
Exactly. John Betcha.
What is it? Is this like the Fairly Odd Parents?
That was a house show. July 22nd, 1997. July 24th, 1997. In the dark match, he fought a guy named Chad Fortune and lost.
Wait, what?
Wow.
I could not pull Chad Fortune out of a lineup, but that name does sound familiar to me.
Oh,
It says he's an American former monster truck driver, football tight end, and professional wrestler for the WWE and WCW. I have no idea who that is.
Chad Fortune, huh?
Wow.
But his first real win was on Nitro and against Hugh Morris, and then went to the Barbarian, Roadblock, Manny Fernandez, Frankie Lancaster, our guy Scotty Riggs, and the list keeps going on. It keeps going on. Barry Horowitz, he's on the list. Chavo,
Everybody beat Barry Horowitz though.
Mike Tolbert, Disco Inferno, Steven
The
Regal,
Kiss Demon, Dale Torberg,
Yes.
Joey Maggs, Finley,
Joey Maggs.
Rick Fuller, Vincent.
They beat Vincent too? Oh no.
Eugene
Oh,
Nagata,
man, they made him just like everybody else.
Barry Dorso, Wayne Bloom.
Of the Beverly Brothers.
Yeah, yep. Jerry Flynn, the Renegade, Johnny Swinger,
Jerry Flynn was awesome.
Ray Trailer, Terrence Black. I don't know who that is.
So that's the guy who beat Bill Goldberg, huh?
No. Chad Fortune?
Fortune.
Chad Fortune, the guy who drove the Superman monster truck.
Johnny Attitude, you know who that is? Is that John Morrison?
It's me.
Johnny, is that Johnny? he had a million different names.
May
So
25th, 1998.
Nah, he wasn't wrestling at that time.
Oh, he had a handicap match. Hugh Morrison and Barbarian. Hugh Morrison been getting a lot of L's.
oh no, actually, Johnny Attitude. Wow,
Kurt
Yeah,
Hennig.
that-
Kurt Hennig.
dude, very different looking, and
Al Green. Scott Putski.
dude literally looks like Johnny Swinger before there was a Johnny Swinger.
Jeez.
Dom is excited to read this list as Jericho was to read the
I am.
1,004 holds.
I know.
Well, who was his second loss against?
Second loss.
Yeah.
Goldberg's second loss.
Second loss.
I don't know.
Kevin Nash. Starcade.
Kevin Nash, two-time loser. Wait,
Yeah.
no. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
I guess I misheard. He really lost
Yeah.
to Chad Fortune.
Yeah, well, that's
yeah,
what
that
Wikipedia
That's what it said?
really,
That's what
that
Wikipedia
really
said.
happened, unfortunately.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
whatever.
Okay.
I don't know who made up the list, but it doesn't make a difference. It's all good.
Found on the internet. It must be true.
It must be true. But but all right. He got pushed to the moon. United States champion. Who'd he beat for the United States Championship?
Raven on Nitro.
Johnny Polo.
And then he got that title match against Hogan in the Georgia Dome that they didn't advertise.
Stupid.
And then after that, did he just like relinquish
Well-
the U.S. title?
Well,
Yeah.
let's not forget that the real highlight of that Goldberg Hogan match was Karl Malone hitting a very nice diamond cutter
I forgot about that.
on the outside of the ring.
Because wasn't Daly feuding with Hogan?
Yeah,
He
I think
brought in.
he brought in
brought
Dennis
in-
Rodman.
Yep. During that summer, right?
It was
Yep.
It was crazy because earlier that night he had a match against Scott Hall. If he beat Scott Hall, he'll get a title match
get
against.
Hogan.
He'll get against Hogan, whatever.
Yep.
And then the Interfere or NWO Interfere, was it like NWOB Interfere?
Yeah.
Which was the entire NWO Hollywood, yeah.
At this point, who knows?
And then I remember what Hogan tried to escape and they threw him back. The fans did, or the Falcons did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that also happened. I don't think that happened in the Raven match for sure. There's,
Oh, maybe it was Raven that tried to escape.
Yeah.
Gotta go
I mean,
back.
I tried to quickly come up with the list of my top Goldberg's best matches of all time, and it's a very short list as you can imagine. But if you like to hear them right now, well, might as
Here
well.
you go.
Or
ahead.
notable best matches or notable matches, because they don't have to be great, but notable matches would be, yes, the very first one with Hugh Morris. What? Hugh Morris? Yes.
Yep.
Another notable match is Goldberg against one of our other favorites on the show, Steve Mongo McMichael at Starrcade 97. Ow! And also, I just watched this match. I just watched the Raven U.S. title match because I had to fact check myself before I wrecked myself, because I thought that match happened at Spring Stampede, but no. He faced Saturn at Spring Stampede pay-per-view, and the next night at Nitro, he faced Raven for the U.S. title, which was also a very fun match, because at the end, every one of the flock jumped into the ring, and Goldberg kicked all their butts.
Yep.
And then, of course, Goldberg and Hogan at the Georgia Dome. And then Goldberg and DDP. That was also probably his top two matches of all time. Probably a real match of his in his prime. His match with Kevin Nash at Starrcade was a tremendous match, regardless of the ending. And you probably have to flash forward to him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania Orlando to find his next great match.
I agree.
So, not to gloss over his history there, but
It's definitely
No,
all
that's
good.
pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty much everything you said, I'm pretty much was gonna be saying that too.
I told you after the Finger Poke of Doom, January 4th, 1990. Year was it?
9.
Nine. Yep, we covered that last year, season 1. But after that, it was a blur. I know they tried to recreate the streak.
Yep.
I know he teamed with somebody bitter named the Hitman. I know he kicked the Hitman's head off.
Yep.
It's one hell of an action figure 2-pack. Bret Hart and Goldberg.
Yeah, they recreated the streak, saying that if he lost the match, he was fired.
Then
So he got fired.
I vaguely remember him joining, who's it, the New Blood? Or
An ill-fated heel turn.
Yeah, oh, that was so bad.
Yeah.
and then I don't know, it was just a lot going on. It was just a lot going on that time frame.
The last years of WCW were just a train wreck.
Hey, was he on that final show, Nitro?
No.
No.
No, he wasn't there?
Oh, I also like to throw in Goldberg and Sid Vicious at Halloween Havoc 99. That was a good one, too.
He was invited, but he just chose not to go down with the sinking ship.
He didn't have to show up. No, Goldberg, I mean, after that match with Kevin Nash and the finger poke of doom, Goldberg's stock just went all the way down. And, he got hurt with the smashing of the window with Scott Hall. Lost a lot of time there. And, he just wouldn't be the same after that. He really wouldn't. They tried many things until the demise of WCW. And, he actually made his way to Japan after the invasion and all that stuff. And he had a couple of really good matches. And one of them I watched when I was still part of the San Jose State wrestling team. Yes, that's right. And he had one of these moves where, a guy had him in a waist lock, and you're supposed to do a switch and you get behind your opponent. So then you could probably, German suplex him, right? But the move Goldberg did was, he was in front. The guy was, behind him with the waist lock. And Goldberg leaned forward and somehow he ended up with like an ankle lock on his opponent. I was like, wow, that's a really cool move. I want to try that in the wrestling practice, but I did not dare. It's probably not allowed against the law and probably against the law of physics as well. But he had just a couple of bits and clips you could probably find on YouTube. Very explosive. Still the kind of Goldberg where it's like, hey, we hit hard here, and that's what we do. And when he went to WWE, almost kind of like their reputation, they kind of had to soften up. Like he didn't hit the jackhammer as hard, probably not to hurt the opponents. I mean, he didn't give a shit about Ron Reese or Sick Boy or Scotty Riggs when he's just like jackhammer, and then he'd be like, hey, that was a little stiff, brother. Sorry. But in WWE, Jericho ain't playing that. Christian ain't playing that. Lance Storm ain't playing that. So he had to soften up his moves, which just makes him look a little softer.
Well, that's the perfect way for me to segue into him being in the WWE because he made his debut the night after WrestleMania 19.
Yep.
He is the reason Booker T lost the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania 19, in my opinion. The real reason. Well, I would give it to you, Book, but, we'd rather save it for Goldberg to beat Triple H for it instead. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Tell me.
You didn't just say that. Oh, man.
Well,
that was the worst booking decision of that night, I feel.
Hey, let us have you feud with Mark Henry by the end of the year. How does that sound? All right, very good.
Well, does he become King Booker if he won that championship, though?
Yes.
Think so?
Yes. Down the road, yeah.
It was still in him, the character. He practiced in the bathroom mirror. Booker!
all right. Well, you said that nobody really took the devastating moves of Goldberg, but when he speared the shit out The Rock,
I was just going to say that.
The Rock sold the hell out of it, bro. He sold the hell out of
But
it.
you're also talking about one of the greatest underrated sellers of all time. People,
Indeed.
people love The Rock for his catchphrases, for his moveset, his eyebrow, all the funny BS that he says. But
he can
his number
sell.
one thing, yes, you have to sell. He doesn't sell just to the front row. He doesn't sell just to the camera. He sells all the way to that little Jimmy all the way at the top. So, yep. Come here, little Rocky. I need that. So.
Well, he sold the hell out of it, and then we get that match at Backlash, and we discussed this. I think season 1?
Hey,
I think it was season 1. Whatever.
It's been a long week, brother.
It has, but he did his thing. But this is the new company. The guy over there is Triple H, and you ain't getting over Triple H.
No, I'm not.
He was on the wrong brand. He should have been on. He was on Raw, the A brand, right? He should have been on SmackDown. Rather see him against those guys, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Maybe they should have put Scott Steiner on SmackDown. You had a better chance.
Well, I'm talking about like they could have had Lesnar and Goldberg earlier on,
Yeah.
instead of having rematch after rematch of Kurt and Brock. I mean, those matches were also good, but you just had in the main event scene Eddie, Brock, well, mostly Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar actually.
Raw was hot back then.
Yeah.
Even Goldberg
Raw?
on the cover. Raw. That Raw brand, that Raw 2003 brand. Hell yeah.
Well,
I gotta beg to differ.
Even that video game was dope.
Xbox.
Yes, Xbox.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's where the real line is divided. Xbox and PlayStation, not this Raw and SmackDown nonsense.
Yeah,
'Cause if you're a PlayStation guy, you're on the SmackDown brand. You're on Xbox, you're on the Raw brand, brother.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
That's
Control is too small.
But yeah, back to like what I was saying before. You said that he wasn't intense. Remember that Elimination Chamber? And he came out the pod and he was wrecking havoc on everybody.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes for the spear and the Triple H sidesteps and hit him with the damn sledgehammer. Knocked his ass out. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what?
It's unfortunate booking, that's all.
I'm like, damn, that's my pick. He's gonna win. Nope.
Nope.
Typical Triple H.
We're gonna make him look strong though.
Didn't he beat Ric Flair too? Like he pulled him through the damn chamber. Like he kept hitting his head right into the chamber.
Yep.
Oh man. Goldberg, he had an effect on me, just like the intensity of his matches and whatnot. It was just the believability. Yeah. That's why I love Goldberg.
You met him before too, right?
No.
Look,
you haven't met Goldberg?
No.
Oh wow, surprised.
Nah. Mo met him.
Yeah, no,
he showed me a picture. Co-worker Matt Goldberg.
Any dude that will cause himself more damage than his actual opponent in a match got my respect from the gate. That dude would come out more times than not with blood already pouring from his forehead because he done ran his head into a locker before he done come out. So he already bleeding before he even gets in the ring. He's like, okay, you know what? Stupid, yes, but I give him that.
No need to give yourself a concussion before the match starts.
Like, we didn't even know he did that. That he really got himself hyped up like that.
Maybe that's what all the greats do. Goldberg concusses himself. Warrior blows himself up. What do you call it?
Oh man,
aerobically.
I'm getting flashbacks to that Nitro we watched when Hogan's son was backstage and Hogan ran to the ring and started doing the Hindu squats.
Oh yeah.
Then he just gets beat up out of nowhere.
Gotta get rid of these colors, man. Gotta get rid of these
your
colors.
warm-ups in, man.
These black and whites ain't doing it for me, brother.
Oh man,
Back in the red and black.
Yeah.
And red and yellow.
Oh my god. I guess that's.
I mean, there's some good. If you want to look back at some Nitros in the summer of '99, man, they literally throwing everything against the wall, seeing what stuck, and you get a lot of fun stuff back then. You get Goldberg tearing up Rick Steiner, and 6-man matches with Goldberg, Sting, and Hogan versus Nash and Sid and all that stuff. It's crazy. Did it make sense? No, but did it have to? We wish it did for the longevity of the company, but if you just watch it out of context, it's still a lot of fun stuff out there.
Yeah. Right. Pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so Strap, this is your segment right here. Let's talk about his match at WrestleMania 20 with Brock Lesnar. You were in attendance. I know we talked about this numerous times, and I was looking forward to this match. I think they deemed it as a battle of the bulls.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the toughest SOB as a special guest referee, the enforcer, whatever you want to call him. And boy, was that a shit show.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, could they have had the match, a good match that they planned to have? Would all their spots would have worked if the fans were not already aware of the situation? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knew Goldberg was up, but it was news to me that Lesnar was leaving. You know, but then you could hear people around you talking. And you're like, wait, Lesnar's he's really leaving? It's like, nah, bullshit. No way.
I had no clue whatsoever. That's when the IWC started talking. I had no idea Goldberg is leaving. Next thing you know, you hear the fans chanting, like, F you, Goldberg, F you, Brock. Like,
I mean, with Goldberg, I mean, you just do the math and figure, he signed a 1-year contract and he's out.
I ain't think about it like that. But nobody expected, like you said, Brock leaving either.
But during the match, I don't know if anyone sees little things happen that you may or may not remember. Stone Cold at the end of this this match, he gets smacked in the face with a can of beer, and he just walks it off, sells it. And they took that off the DVD. But there was a Hulk Hogan impersonator in the crowd, so people were focused on that guy chanting Hogan, and they just saw these two guys, and they just were not going to let them give them a chance. I think in the beginning they were going to, but they did that lockup. They did that long bull versus bull lockup, and it was basically supposed to be a test of strength between these two beasts from the last year of WWE on two different brands. And the crowd, instead of going, ooh, look who's stronger, they were just like, we don't give a fuck. And there's still some cool power spots in there, and there's still one move Goldberg did. I don't know if he fucked up or not, but he had him in the military press, and he's usually gonna put him into the British Bulldog power slam, but instead he speared him instead. That looked sick.
I like that shit,
but it looked like he was a botch. And you would think that they would put Lesnar over because he's the homegrown WWE guy, but allegedly, did you ever hear the story that Stone Cold was a little closer to Lesnar, I guess, maybe, and he said, or Goldberg rather, and he says, why don't you pitch to win the match? Because listen, you both are gone after this match, but you might come back. Lesnar, he's going to football. He ain't never coming back.
Yeah.
So they put you over Goldberg, and Goldberg won. And to seal it with a kiss, they had Stone Cold stun the both of them. And Lesnar,
you get a stunner.
Lesnar with a little goatee action there. Man, he was hot.
Well, it didn't work out for him being in the football league for the Minnesota Vikings.
Or Gable Steveson.
That too.
Oh yeah, he didn't even, they released him before he even got into the WWE ring properly.
Yeah. I think he might have done a live match or two if he was lucky.
He's still trying to go to the Olympics again?
Who knows? It doesn't matter.
It's too many tattoos for me. Don't like his look.
I think they released his brother too from NXT. Damon Kemp. That's his brother.
Yeah.
He was in the quarter catch crew, whatever.
Yeah,
Regal's kid.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And also departed DG. We won't give the name out of.
DG. Oh, Gulak. I'm like, what the hell is DG? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's protect him.
Not mentioning
Cody don't like him. We don't like him.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That's what Cody said to the New Day.
All right. Very good.
Oh, man. BDC, what do you think about this WrestleMania 20 match between Brock and Goldberg?
Only thing I remember about it is that everybody got stunned. That's what I remember about it. Everybody got stunned. Yeah. No one liked the match. Everybody got stunned. That's what I remember about it.
And the thing was, Stone Cold was out of there too.
But and it's a shame because, like you said, with Brock's wrestling background and with Goldberg's brute thing he had going on, it could have made for at least somewhat of an interesting match. If the fans had gotten behind it, but the fans were very much not. So it literally was just there. Literally just there.
I'm sitting there like a mark in the house, like, okay, let's go. Like that damn meme, like the little cartoon dude holding the stick, just pointing. Go ahead, guys, go.
Do something.
Go, do something. Stone Cold, go. Let's go. I'm like, God. Yeah, now I got hyped when Stone Cold stunned him, and that was it. I was so disappointed.
Are you going to talk yet? Are you going to talk, Rick? Oh, just like that match. Nothing's going to happen.
Basically. So after this, Lesnar's gone, Goldberg's gone. What does Goldberg do after this, John?
I don't know. Goldberg I mean, as for the wrestling scene, like no one. I mean, there was no wrestling scene. WWE was the only game in town. TNA was always trying to afford people, but they could not, would not, should not afford Goldberg. And like I can't think of anything happening with this guy until what 2016, 2017, and made his return to face Lesnar at the Survivor Series in that so epic squash. You know, it was a video game deal. You know, of course.
Yeah.
If you listen,
but that was hot.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned before at the live show from Horsepower, this is my pick. I said that if everybody's seen the movie Rocky Balboa, when Antonio Tarver got beat by Rocky, so they did a rematch between Brock and Goldberg, and this is how basically it happened. Have everybody chattering, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Brock gonna mention his name. He finally makes his return. They had that match at Survivor Series. That's it. We was like, what the hell?
Yep.
What the hell? Had me hyped again. Oh, man. It was very interesting. And then, he signed basically, a 2-year deal or so.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this is when it get a little blurry for me, so you guys have to fill me in. So I know that he beat Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania Orlando. Yes. What was that, 34?
No, he beat Kevin Owens.
Oh, he beat Kevin Owens, and then Brock beat him for the title at 34, right?
Yep.
Or 33, whatever it was. For real, I really don't remember that match. I know I texted you before about that, and that WrestleMania's a blur for me. Only thing I remember is the Hardy Boys returning, and
that's 33.
What?
You were there though, right? Yeah.
The one in Orlando?
Yeah.
I didn't go to Orlando.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's when he lost the title, right?
34 was Nola.
I thought he lost the title in 34.
No, because John's favorite match took place at WrestleMania 34. Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. So I know that.
My years are all confused.
I was at that one. Yeah, it was 33. I didn't go to Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Dom's blurriness affecting the entire It Doesn't Matter podcast panel. But yes, Goldberg wrestled Kevin Owens and beat him at, I think, Fastlane for the Universal title, taking away the championship match that would have been Chris Jericho and the Festival of Friendship with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. So it just left Goldberg defending the title against Brock Lesnar in another longer and another great match there. Very hard hitting as usual, playing up on key spots from their previous Survivor Series encounter. Lesnar wins the title, holds the red belt until dropping it to the sickly tribal chief Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. But that's that. and then at WrestleMania 34 he was remarkably absent. I think that was the WrestleMania where he joined the. Sorry, there's a flying monkey in my ceiling. I believe that was the WrestleMania. He joined the Hall of Fame where everyone left because it was such a late night. Hopefully these are a thing of the past. These marathon Hall of Fame, SmackDowns, WrestleMania weekends, all in one night. Night 1 and night 2. For all you punk cheap asses, sorry, it's gonna be 2-night WrestleManias until the business sucks again.
And now
But so you're gonna have
never.
to suck it up.
and 2 night SummerSlams too.
No, I didn't say anything about SummerSlam. But WrestleMania, you can stay 2 nights.
It's gonna be.
So Goldberg, he would, again, back to that Hall of Fame thing. So that's where he would be. And he would make some more sporadic appearances for WWE, mostly in Saudi Arabia, against Lashley and Roman Reigns. But more importantly, he defeated The Fiend for the Blue Universal Championship right before COVID occurred, and he was set to defend it against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 2020. Instead, he defended it against the monster among men, Bronny the Strowman, who beat him and was a Universal Champion for a little bit. But yeah, Goldberg would, he'd face Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, and most notoriously, he had that match with the Undertaker at
He almost killed him. Yeah, right.
Super Showdown or something.
That's
And
right. I was gonna go next on my list. Him and
very
the Undertaker.
sad.
Boy, he that jackhammer, the damn near brain buster. Oh my god, he went for the spear and then he like knocked himself out through the turnbuckle.
Undertaker.
Oh my God.
Undertaker literally retired 2 years later than he wanted to because of that match.
Jeez.
He was like, I can't go out like that. I can't go out like that. I can't go out like that.
See, when he won the title from Bray Wyatt, why? That character was over, and they just squashed that character like
It's
nothing.
one of those Vince calls.
Yeah.
And that was in Saudi Arabia, right?
No, I think that was at the Dome. No, you're right. That was at Saudi. That was
Yeah.
just after COVID, right?
We just call it them Saudi shows. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember I rushed home to see it, and then I'm like, "That's it!" Like, oh my god, like, oh, but I don't know. But this second go round when he came back to the WWE, I wasn't a big fan of it. He just like he tried so hard to do what he can for his son to show them that he's still a superhero, and
Well,
he was beating himself up. He couldn't do it anymore.
I think one of the biggest things that I noticed when he came back, it was like people were starting to kind of get tired of Brock's part-time schedule, where Brock was barely showing up. So then Goldberg comes in. He has his quick run against Brock Lesnar, and then he's kind of like the guy that's barely showing up. So it was like a lot of people were getting annoyed. It was like, okay, so we just replaced Brock with Goldberg, but it's the same thing. We got a guy who's just barely there. And to that point, yeah, it might have been because he was a little older and he couldn't do it like that anymore. But I mean, when you bring a guy in and you pay him, it's like, yeah, we'll pay you. You can do 6 appearances in 2 years. I'm taking that too.
I'm taking that contract.
I'm taking it all day.
Can't be mad, but
Nah,
for the fans, I know I
It
got
was
tired of
annoying.
the nostalgia jack.
it was annoying.
Just like that's why CM Punk got mad because guys like Dwayne would show up and you take that guy's spot who's been busting their ass all year.
Yeah, it would be annoying if you bust your hump all year round and someone just comes in and then, oh, I get that bonus for you. What? That's not happening. Yeah, in the real world, we really gonna be scrapping. But I get it. But it might be setting up something for the future with our anti-hero versus our hero.
I do not want to see that match.
Punk versus Rock?
Oh, I think meant Goldberg and Gunther.
Oh, jeez, no.
Hell
That's,
no.
what I thought you were talking about. Like, nah, I don't want to see that match.
No. That's just Bane just destroying Batman. And I mean, never even letting him come back for the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay there in the pit.
Just break his back and just throw him to the side.
First, I break your body. Then, I break your soul.
I get it. You want one more match, but come on, man. You got to do the job.
Oh, I think he knows he's got to do the job, but it's unnecessary. Gunther doesn't need it, in my opinion. It's not going to do anything for his legacy.
No.
I mean, the stats alone say that he's been champion longer than anybody. Like 70% of the time, he's been champion.
No.
That's
80.
insane. Oh.
80%. 80% of the time on the main 80% of the time he's been on the main roster, he's been a champion.
He was a champion even when in NXT. They count that too, right?
Because he was the NXT UK champ for a while too. Yeah, so I mean,
yeah,
this he's. How many people can you say that about? It's like, dude, you spend more time on a brand as champion than anything else.
Brock, that's the closest thing to it.
Well, no, because technically you have to include his first run. In his first run, he wasn't a champion. He wasn't champion like that.
Yeah, but you wasn't gonna get in the ring and beat that guy. Once he had the belt, you're like, oh, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So that's about it. That's the only person else I can think of. Can't even say Hogan. I mean, Hogan held it a lot, but
he held it for a long time. But then
he would drop it majority of the time too.
He dropped that on a couple of one-offs.
Yeah, that was just.
He did. He had a couple of one-offs when he would get it back within a couple of nights or a couple of months.
It's Tuesday in Texas.
Yeah, and literally when he lost it to Andre the Giant in very controversial fashion, that ended up setting up the main event for WrestleMania 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yep, that's how they got the big tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But Goldberg should just let his career be what it was. You don't need no farewell match. Just come in, wave, hit somebody with a spear. That's about it. You ain't gotta do nothing. You gotta have no match. Don't ruin it for yourself. We don't want to remember you getting squashed because WWE will put some damn video package out there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they would.
So you and your blunders, you definitely don't need that.
And there's really nobody in the E right now that would benefit from having a match with Goldberg at this point. There is no one that benefits from it at this point.
Hey John, you remember when Dolph Ziggler was talking mad shit about Goldberg and Goldberg speared the hell out of him? Oh, that shit did nothing for Ziggler. Trying to make a name for himself and.
Oh, he made a name all right.
Yes, the Hugh Morris of WWE, Dolph Ziggler.
Everything's full circle.
Jesus, I will never say that.
Everything's full circle right there.
I will never say that.
We have a call in from Nick Nemeth. Here we are. Oh, who the fuck are you? Get him out of here. We don't want him.
Oh man. All right. Well, Goldberg, he's a Hall of Famer. He is a 2-time WCW champion. He's a 2-time United States champion. I didn't know that.
2-time?
That's what Wiki said.
Okay.
It might have to be after that when they start a streak all over again. That's all I'm assuming.
That might have been part of his second streak because I don't remember it either.
I don't either.
He's a tag champ with Bret Hart. Do you guys know who did he beat? Be tag champs?
Nope.
Not a clue.
Chronic.
It probably was Chronic. He's a WWE champion. He's a 2-time Universal champion. I would say he had a hell of a career.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely did.
And he wasn't even in the game for that long. You know, he was what, like 3-4 years in WCW, and maybe what, like 4 combined in WWE, if that.
Yeah, with if you take the breaks in between,
Yeah.
that's about right.
Yeah, so the man's good. He got a lasting legacy in pro wrestling, so everybody knows the name Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, any final thoughts on Bill Goldberg?
No.
Any dream
Well,
matches?
So
No. I got everything I wanted.
So I'm looking up the I'm looking up his tag win with Bret Hart. Only thing it said, because it doesn't say who he won it against, just says that they won it on an episode of Thunder back in 1999.
Jesus.
It's creative control,
Does
the Harris
not-
twins.
Does not say who he actually won it against.
Well, I'm quite sure it's not Chris Benoit because they wouldn't
Oh,
erase
I'm pretty
that
sure
from
about
history.
that.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm
Hold on.
I'm looking it up. Let's see.
Matches that could have happened under Goldberg's tenure. Goldberg and the Ultimate Warrior, 1998. It could have happened.
Oh,
It
yeah,
could have happened.
But in 1998, you had Goldberg and Renegade. Same thing.
Sure.
He's not the experienced one.
That's right.
Oh man.
Nah, there was really nothing that. I mean, the only match I could think of right now would have been Austin and Goldberg when they were at their peak, but it probably wouldn't have been good in my opinion.
All right. So John, you're correct. Creative control. Ron and Don Harris.
Yep, Nazi 1 and Nazi 2.
December 7th, 1999.
Howdy doody.
Oh my lord!
Wait a
I'm
minute.
gonna watch that shit.
So
They came a long way from fighting the
Wait.
British Bulldog and
So-
Lex Luger at WrestleMania 11, haven't they?
Yes.
so is that who? Wow.
Jacob and Eli Blue.
So I have
Bunch of Chuck
here,
Columbus.
finally something that tells me, at least the internet tells me, who they beat for the championships. Which
Oh, damn, it's behind a paywall.
nope, not behind the paywall.
Sports Kita.
It's damn them. It actually says the Outsiders.
Wow.
Says they beat the Outsiders for it.
Maybe the Outsiders beat them.
Wasn't we ain't trying to talk about WCW, but
No,
wasn't who's it? Kevin Nash and like DDP, the Insiders.
Yeah. Different. Later on.
1999.
2000.
Oh Lord, told you, man.
Late
That shit's a
2000.
blur. Terrible. Was this
So
before or
terrible.
after the Jersey Triad?
After. The
Yeah, I was
Insiders
gonna
were
say after.
afterward, yeah.
Yeah, they were after.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for Goldberg. That's enough WCW talk for tonight.
yep.
Until next year. But I'm Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here at Poppy Platinum. I'm here with Stratfax. I'm here with the head of Dessert Table, BDC. And we will see you next time. Boom.
Boom.
Happy Hanukkah.